online and one-on-one coaching. Mr. USA 2001, Quincy Taylor. 4 times Mr. Olympia athlete. Show preparation and general fitness. 30 years of experience. Bring out your monster. myteqt1@gmail.com. @Quincy.monster.
When you are asleep, they're just getting started.
This show is RxMuscle the truth.
But don't fuck with me, man.
All of our
5 cents. Yeah, but you don't fuck with me. Acting like a fucking child.
Muscle the truth.
But don't fuck with me, man.
All of our
6 cents. Yeah, but you don't fuck with me. Doing this fucking bullshit.
Muscle the truth.
That's my favorite
We're
word.
back. I'm here with Hulk Hogan in the studio today, and we have a special guest joining us remotely, our good friend Jimmy Mentis. What's up, guys? What's up, Jimmy?
What's up, Jimmy?
Hey, Dave. What's up, guys?
Hey,
Welcome,
Jimmy, how you
Jimmy.
doing?
Jimmy said, "I got to get on this show. I got to talk about what's going on in the bodybuilding world."
Hold on. Am I really a special guest?
You are special today, yes. You're
You
like a
came in
special,
the
you know, the
sport
children have to wear the helmets when they go to school. You're the special guest.
And Jimmy, this does not count as our monthly call.
What's going on, Jim?
Awesome. You know, same old stuff. You know, I just work, and now I'm trying to sit back a little, and I guess it's work. I can't sit.
You know, I was very surprised when you opened that hardcore gym. I was like, I can't believe he's doing another business yet. How is that going?
Let's put it this way. I opened it, but I really didn't open it. It's still just me and Tammy and a couple friends. I didn't really open it.
Oh, it's not open to the public. Okay, I didn't know.
No,
that.
I actually have a few friends that, you know, helped me out with the lease, and we actually kept it like that.
Wow.
But you know, but I have a couple other things going on. I got some products going on into Costco and stuff like that. But you know what? It's hard, man. It's hard to just slow down.
Yeah.
I can't. I try to not do anything for a whole week, and I almost had a heart.
I thought you were like, you know, the Jimmy Mentis was posting pictures of like these like old antique machines that he's been like getting from all over the country. I thought he was like a Picasso, you know, collector. The way you were, I got this machine from California coming in. I got this one being refurbished from New Jersey.
Nope. I have probably the most exclusive set of equipment that all of us back in our younger days just love. I mean, you can't find these things.
Next to Ron
Norman, of course. Yeah, exactly.
No, Ron Norman.
You know who else?
Hold on. Ron Norman was here last week, and he came in.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
right.
Did he?
And he was like, "Holy shit! Where did
kind
you
of
find
equipment
these?"
is
I'm
it?
like,
Now
"Oh,
Ron's going to have to
King
go
James?
expand his house to be able to fit all this new equipment that he's going to want to buy.
He's going to be tunneling under the driveway now.
Do you know who else? Brian Moss has a lot of like Ed Jubenville stuff. Do you have old stuff like that? Like, remember the old shit?
No, not that old.
That's old stuff. I started out working.
Brian Moss's stuff is from the 50s.
Yeah.
What's
You
that?
have like what Nautilus stuff you got in there.
I got
I
old
love
Nautilus. I got Generation 1 Body Master bench press.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, that.
Warrior Cup.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that was great stuff. TK
Yeah.
I'm
Star.
such an idiot. I thought he was talking about arcade machines and shit.
Nah, he's still. That's nice stuff, man. I love the old Nautilus.
What did you have in your
Nautilus.
gym, Greg, back in the day?
Oh my God, what's that?
What did you have in your gym back in the day?
I mean, I had like, you know, I had old stuff like old Nautilus. You know, I carrying David equipment. Remember all that?
Oh,
stuff?
yeah.
The old David stuff.
That was in the 80s when all that stuff came
Flex
out.
Jim, Tommy K, you know, Tommy
TK
K.
TK Star, yeah.
TK Star.
Tom
TK
Kenny.
Star.
Tom Kenny.
Mount Vernon, where his place was.
Yeah.
Nebula. How about Nebula stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember
I got
Nebula. I
plenty.
didn't have Nebula. I don't think I had Nebula.
I'm the
No.
only person in the world who hated the Nebula leg press machine, and I'll tell you why I hated it. It was the
I know why
smoothest
you hate
machine, but you had to put too many fucking plates on it, and I didn't want to take the plates on and off, so I never used it.
Well, don't forget, it was a 35-degree angle. That's why.
That's exactly it.
How about Icarian had a chest press sled?
They did?
Yeah, so in other words, the handles were stationary,
Yeah.
but the seat moved
Oh.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
remember that?
right. I remember
Yeah.
that. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they had
You know
water
what I
machines.
hated? Dave, you know what I hated? Bob Bonham used to have those fucking hydraulics.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why he kept
my
those
God.
machines. Yeah,
Those things were nuts.
Bob wouldn't throw
I
anything away.
hated the fucking hydraulic shit. I didn't like
Bob
it.
had the
Yeah, but
oldest
Bob-
equipment in the world that it worked perfectly. He would not throw anything away. This guy.
Yeah.
But he would get people weld stuff for his gym.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So he had odd things, like that you couldn't even find anymore.
What do the dumbbells go up to, Jimmy, in your gym?
140s.
Nice.
You should have seen me trying to take the 120s, 130s, 140s off the truck.
Oh,
I think it was the last time I lifted them.
Oh no! Are you gonna get like one pair of like 200s just to say you got them in the gym?
You know what? If somebody wants to bring them in and put them there, that's fine.
Yeah, you should. I was gonna say I would like to open a gym where people just donate stuff. Like, say, you know what? There's this I watched this channel on aquariums on YouTube. It's called the Ohio Fish Rescue. They have 1 million tanks and he's got 1 million fish, but everything is just stuff that people donate to him. And he's got the greatest stuff because people want to watch the channel and see the newest stuff he gets. So if you made it, you got to make it like a channel for your gym, and then people can just donate equipment that you can keep adding.
Dave,
What?
do you know how much a pair of 200-pound dumbbells costs?
Someone's got them in their house. They want to get rid of them. John.
Dave,
Yeah, they're
It's
gonna
like
sell them
$1
to
a
the
pound, dude.
yard
It's
before they
crazy.
give them away.
Who's
If
going
I
to use
tell
them though,
you-
John? Nick
I fucking had a
Walker?
spot
You
Victor
know,
Richards using that shit.
A pair of 200-pound dumbbells will probably cost about $1,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
It's like
way.
$1.
how would you
a
do chest
pound.
press?
Someone's
anyway?
got them sitting in their garage and they're freaking taking up
Nobody's got
space.
it.
They would be like this wide.
Yeah.
We'll
So you
convert
couldn't
them
even
to
like
cash.
chest presses would be like out like this. You know?
These
Georgie,
machines.
Bonham had a pair of 200-pound dumbbells. They were the
He had
Ron
240s.
Right.
He had
He
240-pound
Yeah.
dumbbells.
So how wide?
240.
John, how
They were
wide were they?
240 pounds.
They must have been like.
They weren't that wide. No, they just had bigger
Yeah, but no,
plates.
he had a big plates on.
Yeah.
He had them custom made for Ronnie.
Yeah.
Let
Said
me
the
tell
Coleman
you,
dumbbell.
the machines 3 years ago, the whole Nautilus and all that, they were using them from scraps. Okay, scrap metal.
Right.
A leg extension, Gen 1 leg extension. Now you can't get less than $2,000.
Why is it?
Rusted.
Why?
Really?
Such a big demand.
Oh, and there's no materials. There's no raw
Do you
materials.
remember the flex leverage line?
Yeah.
Okay, flex leverage chest on Instagram. There's a couple of guys selling them back and forth. They're just changing hands. Sold last week for $6,500.
What? Oh my God.
Oh yeah, you have no idea the value. I think I built my gym maybe $100,000 total. Okay, and I got a lot of good pieces in there.
Where is
Some
your
of them
gym?
Even given to me.
Where
right?
is it? Are you in Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Sunrise.
Oh, wait.
Right
And
by you.
He's in Fort Lauderdale, Dave.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Right by you.
Can-
yeah,
We should go there
come
and
on
train.
by.
Can we come
Yeah,
there
you
and
gotta
train?
come by.
Can Mr.
You
G
gotta
get
come
a
by.
pass for the day?
Come on, I'll give you the code to go train. So listen, I could probably sell every piece in there over $500,000.
I'm surprised you haven't. You like to make money, Jimmy.
I listen. I'm ready. When the lease is over, I think I'm just gonna,
Every time I say, Jimmy, how's this new business? How's that business doing? He goes, oh, I sold that already.
I sold.
But you guys remember the handmade equipment that Joe Gold made back in the day? Do you have any of that stuff? I wonder how much that
No, I would love to get my
No
hands
one's got
on. I know
that.
exactly which one you're talking about.
You know what else I had?
That's
What
probably
I
worth a
loved?
ton of money.
Ferrigno equipment. Remember Manny Ferrigno?
Yeah.
I still have a few things.
You do?
I loved Ferrigno.
I think
equipment.
that
Just
table
like
Greg is sitting
benches.
on is a Ferrigno-made bench press.
He probably has something underneath the desk.
The bench press was close. The posts were close.
Yeah.
They weren't wide. I loved the Ferrigno stuff. It was pretty strong. But I loved the old Nautilus. The first generation. Dude, remember the compound chest and then
I
Yeah,
have it.
that thing
the
is sick.
The fucking Nautilus pullover was like
I
the
have it.
That's
Yep.
the signature. I had all those.
You know why they were so good? Is because it had a drag movement. It was a drag rep. You couldn't cheat. It was
Right.
drag.
Right.
I have
That's
the
what
bicep,
the whole cam thing was.
It was the cam that
The
made
cam.
but because of the chain, you couldn't. It was a drag. I got them
Right.
all. I got the leg extension, leg curl, the pullover, the bicep, the tricep, the pec deck, the decline pec deck.
Wow.
Like the bicep one was up here.
Yeah. They're all.
Yeah, they
they're
had
just
two.
amazing.
They had the multi bicep, and then they had the one where you put your arms up and you do almost like this.
Yeah,
you know?
right,
I
right.
love all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's
That
great.
was the best. But
That-
you're right.
that-
The
that first
combination
gen-
of cam and chain.
Yep, that first gen Nautilus ab machine is probably the most.
The clam.
Yeah,
I can take you guys right now. I got it over here.
Well,
That's-
I like the neck. I like the neck
sport
machine
after
too. The
beef.
8-way neck machine is great. I used to always
no
use
neck
that.
machines for me. My neck is barely
Bev,
staying up.
Bev's
the way it
Jim's
is
got
now.
one of those. I used to use it all the time. I love that machine.
I love all that chain-driven shit. But
Yeah.
you know what the problem is? Those machines, Jimmy, am I right or wrong? You try to move them, forget about it. They're like 2,000-3,000 pounds. I mean, you can't. You know, we had to move them a few times, and it was unbelievable the weight of those machines.
Yeah,
it's so heavy, man. I just bought a super pullover. You don't find these things less than 2,500. So I had this kid up in New York, up your way.
Yeah.
He sold it to me for $1,000. The guy who moved it down here went to go pick it up because you got to give me another $500 for it.
that heavy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, even the stack, it was like steel. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that that iron. Everything about Nautilus was phenomenal.
Yeah,
They don't make equipment like that anymore. None of this shit works like the fucking old school Nautilus.
No.
The chain and the cam create so you could be here. It doesn't matter.
No.
That it's right on the area, the target area.
Arthur Jones knew exactly what he was doing.
He is brilliant.
After that, he built Medex
Yeah, you're right.
machines.
Well, his
And
son
his son
Gary's the one who started Hammer Strength.
Right.
Son.
The son did, yeah. But I think
Yeah,
the son
Gary.
stole a lot of money from the father or something like that. I know a guy by the name of Eugene Bissett who's big in the snake world. Now, if you knew anything about Arthur Jones actually was bred snakes and alligators and crocodiles and all kinds of crazy stuff. He was into everything. And this guy, Eugene Bissett's got the best Arthur Jones stories. I'm going to get him on the TV show at some point. Mind's going to be blown. Arthur Jones was a genius, but he was a nutcase too. The stories are incredible.
Didn't he start Medex because his son screwed him over
Yes.
from Hammer or something like that?
Yes, that's it. Yes. 100%.
His son's name is Gary. He was fucking nuts though. I had one of Arthur Jones' disciples. His name was Bob Baff. He was the one who I started training with in 1976, 77, and he would put you through this workout. One set would be 5 minutes. And it made you not want to work out. You remember the original Arthur Jones? You'd go down that whole, the line of equipment. You start out with, go right down the fucking line. Forget about it. One set to failure. Then
what was that? They called it the something experiment, right? What was it called? The
I don't know. Casey Viator. Was his start. But I'm telling you what, you want to throw up doing that shit. Yeah. You want one set could take 5 minutes to do.
John Romano, I see. As soon as Jimmy the Bull popped up, I already have the whole story. I know the whole story already. Just looking at him, is he still on the screen?
Jimmy, where is Jimmy?
Is he still there, or did he drop? Oh, there he is. Number one, he's going to be sick. Number two, and I haven't talked to him today. He's going to be sick. The truck will have broken down. It's freezing out. And someone fucked him over at 7-Eleven.
He's eating Bugle.
That's my prediction. Without even talking to him today.
And he's eating chips.
Where is he?
Tell us what happened, Jimmy.
Lower right corner.
I'll eat some of Mr. G's cookies here. Even though he didn't bring me keto cookies today.
There he is. There he is.
I'm eating Cheetos, my favorite fucking meal, man.
My 2-year-old daughter's favorite meal too.
Oh, I love these fucking. You can't stop eating these fucking things, man.
So what's going on?
Gonna make them.
Anyway, I gotta go because I just got off early. I was all excited. I was gonna go home, go to the gym. And my boss called me up, says, I gotta come to the yard. He's waiting on me. I gotta take another truck and go get sand some other fucking where. So I'm pissed off right now. So I just want to say something. People, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but and I'm going to change the subject. I know you guys are talking about nutrition and stuff like that, whatever you talk about.
Gym equipment, but you're close, yeah.
Greg's probably talking about drugs. Anyway, make a long story short. So I was at the supermarket last night. Everybody's losing their fucking mind. And I had a fucking, last night I was very scared. In my bed, I woke up in a cold sweat. I'm going to tell you why. I went to the supermarket the other night, and this lady, I always get stuck with her. I don't know what it is. She's very slow. Her eyes are buggy. She's got a Fu Manchu. Right, she's very fucking horrible to look at. I want to say, ma'am, you work in a supermarket. Go down aisle 5 and go get a goddamn razor blade. Will you get that fucking Fu Manchu off your face, man? I can't look at it anymore. Sometimes there's food stuck on it. It's disgusting, right? So now I'm standing there. I go through the fucking thing there. I go through the thing and I get on the other end and she's putting my food on the conveyor belt, right? But she's not hitting the button. All the food's laying up there. So I gotta lean over the conveyor belt to my gut. I'm leaning over the fucking conveyor, and I'm trying to get my food off the conveyor. And everybody on the aisle is watching, ever saw the conveyor belt? They're like, bring the shit to me. I mean, I'm struggling over here. Instead of stuck out a bag of logs. I mean, come on. So all the people started cheering at the fucking, because they saw me struggling. This Fu Manchu motherfucker's not even hitting the button, right? So now I'm laying in bed last night and I'm watching the news, and I said to all of a sudden the fucking the Chicago mayor's saying something on the TV. I said, holy shit, that's the lady at the supermarket, Lightfoot. I said, she's a white Laura White Lightfoot, right? And then I tried to say it 3 times, a white Laura Whitefoot. Well, I bugged out. I said, you imagine getting up in the middle of the night and seeing that son of a bitch standing in your fucking bedroom? I mean, really, I had to get the baseball bat, put it next to my bed for the rest of the night, bro. I was so fucking scared.
I see that all the time. She looks like my mother-in-law. Except my mother-in-law is 300 pounds, 4'11".
Look, Greg, I'm not even getting political here. I'm just talking about, the ugly stick, the woman. I mean, I never seen anything like that in my life. I'm watching. I said, that's the first time I've ever seen her. I said, this is the mayor of fucking Chicago.
She's an alien.
No wonder why people are up in arms. What?
She looks like an alien. Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Yeah, Beetlejuice. I like this. And my supermarket cashier looks just like her in a white form. I just realized the last
John,
time I said,
Romano.
minus the Manchu.
John, he's become so much like my dad. It's so scary. My father was so judgmental later in life of people's looks.
Dave,
he hated people who were not ugly looking. He would point it out. He would be appalled by it.
I gotta say, I'm getting old. I am getting like a crabby old Italian guy. I was going through fucking College Boy Boulevard before. It's all Chinese, right? Every single Chinese got a mask on. You probably know, right?
Yeah,
every one of them. True. On the streets, in the car, coming out of the diner. I saw some Chinese lady hanging out of the window. She was fucking doing laundry with a mask on out of her window in the apartment building. Right? All of a sudden, I'm driving down the road, and I see this little old Italian lady come out of her apartment, and she's slipping her little carpet, maybe something in the bathroom or something in front of the sink, and she had no mask on. A little old lady, she was like 85. So I'm laying on the horn, I'm cheering, I'm going, yeah, lady, you're the motherfucker out of thousands of people ain't got a mask on. What's wrong with this world today, man? Now you tell me I'm getting like your father, maybe I am. But I tell you what, I say what's on my fucking mind, and I get people going nuts immediately, and you tell me, how you doing? Hi. No problem. I'm just having a conversation. I'm good. Don't worry about it. So listen. Last night I'm buying boots. I'm in this fucking place. I'm buying work boots in this safety place, right? And all of a sudden I started bitching about them. Yeah, I'm good, brother. Don't worry. I'm not backing in. I'm good. Look at this fucking guy. I'm good, bro. Don't worry. I'm okay. I'm good. I'm on the phone. I'm good now.
It's how he talks normally. It's how he talk. We yell at each other.
I'm bitching about the boots, right? Because now I'm an old Italian myself, right? And all of a sudden the guy just starts bitching about steaks. This guy's bitching about this kind of food, and all of a sudden I got the whole store in an uproar. We're all going at it, like 7 of us. Even the guy who worked there was fucking losing his shit, right? So now I'm in a deli this morning. This quick story, I gotta go. I'm in a deli and I'm standing on line, and this lady comes out and she says, "Sir, can I help you?" I said, "How do you know I'm a sir?" I said, "How do you know I'm a man?" She goes, what are you talking about? I said, everybody in line knew what I meant. They started laughing, right? I said, today's age, I don't know if I'm a man. I got a vagina. I got a penis. I haven't made up my mind yet, right? And then I get to the fucking counter. I go to pay for my eggs, and there's a sign there. A sign. It says, due to the high prices, we had to raise the egg sandwiches. I said, are you fucking kidding? I gotta go. I said, are you serious with that fucking sign? How can the eggs be more money? I don't understand. What's all due to the trucking and the trucking and the shortage? The eggs are fucking head shifted out of his ass. There's a shortage. Get the fuck. I paid the sandwich. I had it. I had it with people, bro. I had it. And the fucking doctors, they're just the same. That fucking dermatologist. I was all excited. I was waiting in the fucking office. I thought the girl was gonna come in, the young one, So I said I had it all planned out. I said, could you do a full body exam, please? I was going to save my fucking testicles for last, right? So I had it all planned out. I was going to tell her, after she examined everything, I said, listen, I had a little spot on my left testicle. You think you can check it out for me? And I knew she was gonna drop to her knees to get that little eyepiece out. Look at my fucking left nut. I was gonna.
You're a sick fuck.
All of a sudden the door opens up. It's a fucking guy. I fucking lost my fucking shit right there, bro. That was it.
You're lucky you lost your shit because You don't want to hit him in the face with it.
Where's my video with the present I sent you? What happened?
I haven't made it yet. I'm gonna make it.
Oh, okay. I want to see it.
It's gonna be on my reptile channel. I don't know if anyone on After Hours cares about the mousetrap, but I'll do it for my reptile channel. Those are the people who are gonna really appreciate it, because those are the people who. Jimmy got me this mousetrap thing. I'm not gonna even explain it, but I'm gonna make a video on it. It's pretty good. It's for because people who breed reptiles. Sometimes the rats escape, and if you want to catch them, it's a great, innovative little trick.
He made it up?
He didn't make it, no, but he found it. He bought it as a gift. So.
Wait, you got rats running around there and shit?
No, not now, but sometimes, once in a while, one will get out. And,
Snakes.
I usually put glue traps on the floor, but then it's because then they get all. You can't even use them after. With this trap that Jimmy got me, you catch the rat, you can still feed it to the snake.
That makes no sense. Why don't you just throw a couple snakes in there and let the snake eat it?
I used to do that, John. The problem is you got to find the rat first, but the rats usually will come to the trap.
Isn't that the snake's job?
True, but I don't want snakes
just
roaming
roaming
around.
He sells the snakes, John. You don't want. What's he gonna throw snakes on the floor that he sells? Come on, you're gonna reach in your pocket, throw $10, $20 on the floor? Huh? No, you're not gonna do that.
That's funny.
So I gotta go, but I just want to clear one thing up. I got no cancer. I went to the doctor. That guy, I thought the woman was coming. He checked me out. He couldn't find anything. When they said I had to go back to the other fucking dermatologist.
It was a scam, John. It was a scam. He really didn't have cancer. They said it might look like cancer, and that they sent him that letter of terrorizing him, and it was really not necessary. It was a scam to get him back to pay more money.
2 years. Right. 2 years later, Dave.
Yeah.
So I went back to the other dermatologist, the one that wrote the letter 2 years ago, and I said, listen, man, you got to find. I said, my doctor at the VA can't find the spot that you biopsy. I said, you got to check it. So she says, I apologize. She stripped me down. She's looking. She's like 10-50. I can't find it. I said, well, is the hair getting in the way? I said, I'll go down the street and get waxed. She said, no, the hair's not an issue, because I got a little hair in my back. So anyway, she's looking and looking. She goes, I can't find anything. She says, but I do see a spot down here. I'll biopsy that for nothing. I said, you're not going to biopsy nothing. I don't want no biopsy. I said, you can't find it?
No,
I'm out of here.
No, Goodbye. Jimmy, you're missing the punchline. She said she'll biopsy it for nothing, but then the lab is going to send him a $400 biopsy bill.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
she was only going to scrape it off for nothing.
Right. You believe this bitch? That fucking, let me tell you something, Dave. That dermatologist bitch, all she's about money, man. That's all she was about is fucking money, bro. That's it, man. All those 6 times she cut me. On the 7th time I was there to check it out, she says, oh, there's a spot over here. You didn't see the spot 7 times ago, motherfucker. I fucking had it with these people. I got to get out of here, man.
All right.
I got my
we love you. We love you.
I got to roll.
We love you. All right.
I love you too, man. I'll see you guys later.
Jimmy, no more doctors.
All right, man.
No more doctors, Jimmy.
Let me before we get to the topic I want to talk about, which is the rash of deaths in bodybuilding and some of the videos that people have been putting up. I want to just mention I watched a live stream that Big Lenny put up about 5 or 6 days ago. I guess he's in the hospital. I think his blood sugars were like ridiculously high, and he was holding excessive fluid. Pull up Big Lenny's YouTube channel for a second.
Oh shit!
He did a live stream. Yeah, I hope he's. I haven't heard anything since then. I'm hoping he's doing better. But I know they had him on massive amounts of Lasix to get rid of all the water that he was holding. Now, I don't know if that was from the blood sugar.
It's a scam? He's just trying to avoid George?
I don't think. He didn't look too good to me. He was on oxygen and everything.
It's too bad he would have gotten in shape if he would have followed.
I think, Mr. G, you got to go visit him in the hospital and save his life. You're his last.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a good point, because if he had gone through, Georgie would have saved his life. But
either that or he would have had a heart attack training for the thing.
I seriously,
he would have cleaned up his diet. He would have been training. He would have been boxing. It would have all been good for him. And
that was the intent.
John, the last time we had him on, he said he wanted to get to 360.
That was my intent.
Yeah, knowing Lenny, no,
because he's mentally irregular. But I mean, if George had talked some,
what movie was that quote from?
Rocky,
right?
He has a whole bunch of people following him. He could have done it. He could have done something like actually good. Show them, hey, I can get how you can get in shape. I mean, that's what he should do. I mean, that's my opinion.
That's a gray area. What you needed to do was step in and take over.
Oh, there he is. What is he saying? What's his update? I remember when he did the live stream, because I was watching the live stream and he was basically he was laying down. He had oxygen on.
Yeah, it is the one with the oxygen thing.
Yeah, it's the first one.
Oh, you saw this, Johnny?
Yeah, I watched it live when he did it.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, he wasn't doing too well, but hopefully he's doing better now.
I wonder what hospitals.
When you have to take mass amounts of Lasix, usually it's heart related because it means your heart's not pumping blood efficiently, and the blood's backing up into your lungs, into your your extremities, like your
extremities.
So the diabetes really has nothing to do.
Well, diabetes is not good either because then you have poor healing.
I understand.
Ulcerations,
but it's not. That's not really the cause of what's.
Who knows? It's everything combined.
Contributing factor.
Well, he doesn't want to get. He doesn't want to go on a diet, lose weight.
He wants to get bigger. I don't. I mean,
and just lift weights. And not do any type of cardio or anything. I mean,
Jimmy, let me ask Jimmy Mentis, our guest, for a second. Jimmy, have you ever seen? I mean, look, you were a big bodybuilder back in the day, just like I was, and Greg, and all the other guys, that out there that were back in the '90s and the big monsters. And at some point, you said to yourself, "It's probably not a good idea that I be this big, when I hit 50, because I'll probably die." Right?
No. No, that's why I'm actually on here. I think there's a deeper issue in our sport. And I don't know if you guys want to get into it now, but when I competed, I love the sport. Like I love to train. I love the pain, and the more pain I was self-inflicting, I would go harder and harder and harder. I thrived off the pain. Right. So, after a while, let's put it this way, up to 2 years ago, up to last year, I still think I was going to make a comeback. Well, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it.
Jimmy, how old are you? Jimmy.
I'm 56.
Okay.
Delusional, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. I'm all that. Okay. Because every time I would just get in that mindset, not in the hole. Okay, I would get in that mindset because don't forget, I got my own gym now. 2 years, I'm training on the same machines that I did in the 80s and 90s. Right. So I'm reminiscing. I'm doing anti-age. I'm doing some HRT. I'm getting a pump. I'm feeling great. And, why can't I just take this a little further, diet down? It's for me and all of us. It's a switch. It's a mindset, right? You switch, you go into the dieting mode. But I realized that once you come out of that hole, okay, it's very hard to go back in it. And it's not about training intensity. It's not about dieting. It's a mental state that you put yourself in, that when you come out and you see a little light, if you don't go back down, you come out, it's very hard to go back down there. And that's why when I hear these guys not competed for 2-3 years, Flex Lewis, right? I still don't think Flex Lewis is going to come back. And if he does, I don't think he's going to look the same way he does. Once you get out of that hole, we have never seen anybody, unless I'm wrong, come out of that hole for 1 or 2 years. We're talking about the good ones, right? The good ones, right?
Yeah,
right,
really.
Right. And then go back down into the hole. You don't because it's a passion, but we're all not well. Okay. there's a, and I mean it. There's
body image issues. Yeah.
Yeah. There's whatever that is. I think it's more than body issues. I just think there's a lot more pain in us. Okay. That we tend to bury, but go get it when we need it. Okay. And we keep going. And leading into, what we're talking about, what we're going to talk about is, I don't really do the whole YouTube thing, as a matter of fact, my Tammy watches your freaking shows.
Yeah, she always comments, yeah.
Yeah, she's on her desk and she's doing what do you have? Muscle in the morning?
Yes.
I saw. Yeah. I sent you that text.
Yeah.
So I hear stuff and I watch some of your shows and I watch some of those other guys as well, but I happened to come across Seth Feroci's video, right? And I have to tell you, and then I saw yours and I think you're both right, but I think you were talking about, he was talking about steroids kill. Steroids kill. You can die from steroids if that's what he said, right? You can die from steroids. Yeah. But I understood what he was saying was those bodybuilders that cut from the same cloth type of mentality bodybuilders will die from steroids because there's no end game. There's no end game. And if you look at the people who don't compete anymore, it happened either they lost their health or they got old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you know what, Jimmy?
I think what he was saying is that steroids kill, and that if you take them, you're going to die from them eventually, especially if you continue to do it. So what I did in my video was to clarify that the steroids themselves are not killing people. It's combining it with 300-pound body weight, with eating massive amounts of food, high blood pressure, maybe high blood sugar. It's the combination of everything that does it. It's not the steroids that kill you.
And Dave, I wasn't going to tell you because I didn't want to put you in a bad mood, but Nick Tergilli made a video this morning. And he said that you're a moron.
I am a moron,
said
right?
that.
Of course.
And he said it's because you're trying to save your training business. You must be needing the money. I wasn't going to say shit because I didn't want to make trouble, but I had just watched it right before the show started,
Oh, my God.
So who did this?
Nick Tergilli.
And who's that?
Right? There you go, John. Hey, can
I'm
I say
actually
something?
friends with Nick, so this is a
Can I say something about what Jimmy was just saying? I agree with Jimmy. You know what the one thing is? It's almost like a heavyweight boxer or something, and you see him wanting to make a comeback a couple years later, and it's almost like you don't realize it. Once you stop, the sport keeps evolving like this. So now you're back here, and the sport is already up here. So you think you're going to come up out of the rabbit hole, and it's time has changed. You know what I mean? It's different. I mean, like look, people. To equate it with life, people don't look at DVDs or CDs anymore. You get MP4s, you just go online, watch whatever movie you want. You don't have to go rent if you took somebody out of a time capsule, this sport has changed so much just from 5 years.
Right.
And then 5 years before that. And then in the 90s. So when you compete, you're going to get up there and you're going to think the way you did back in the day. You understand? So when you're on stage, you go look and there's, guy 5'2", 5'3", weighing fucking 250 pounds and shit. And you're like, wait a minute, whoa. So what I understand a little bit about what you're saying too, is that, a lot of guys, they think about coming back and everything, but they don't realize that once you stop, the time doesn't stop. It just keeps, you're here, but bodybuilding keeps going. In 5 years from now, we're going to see a totally different physiques. That's why I think it's smart that Kai Green never came back, because I think Kai Green is an entity, and leave yourself in that era, because you try to come back today, even though I just don't think he would be able to pull it off, like in place where he thinks he can play.
Well, Greg, it's like the boxer that tries to come back at 40 years old.
That's what I just said.
And fight, the guy who's 25. It's just, he's not the same boxer he was when he was 25.
And the desire.
Tyson's not going to go fight the heavyweight champ of the world.
No, why would he? He always the heavyweight. He already climbed the mountain. Why is he going to climb it
Mike
again?
Tyson came out of jail, he was losing to bums. I mean, guys he would have knocked out in his prime, he would have fucking went bang like this.
Yeah.
You got like Peter McNeely and all these bums that he was fighting. You know what I mean? And they were dropping him, So you can't just quit, sit back, for a couple of years or whatever and think, I can get right back. The sport's not the same. It's moved. You know what I mean? So you're coming back here, but it's already there.
But even if the sport is evolving, okay, and that's another topic we can talk about if it really is bodybuilding, okay? Or is it that same person, for me, for example, right? When you put 500 pounds on the squat, right, and you did 15, and back then you did 15, and you pulled another 5 out of your ass, I'm done at 12.
No,
right,
Jim, 100%.
So
100%.
So I think it's mostly the person who doesn't go deep, dig deep down deep enough. Aside if the sport is progressing, so if you really look at what we had back then. And I'm always going to go back there. And everybody's like, oh, you old school junkies, you fucking doing this. You say you guys are the best. Let me tell you something. We were the best. I think the 90s era was the best. And you want to go back to the 80s, that's fine, because the 80s made the 90s. We took what they did in the 80s and we put it to work, okay? So here's the thing. And if I'm blabbing, you guys can cut me off, okay? Because I had a lot of fucking to say. So you take the 90s and you go into, obviously the 2000s were kind of dead. You guys agree? There was a little steady period
in the early 2000s, yeah.
Right. Okay. So now you got the newcomers coming in. Now, don't forget, back then, legally or illegally, we were getting good shit.
Right.
We were getting real shit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now 80% they're made in kitchens.
Right. Probably 95%.
Wait a minute. I got to comment on that.
And wait, John, before you say something. And the powders, right, that they make it from comes from China. Nobody knows what's
well, that's exactly what I'm going to hold. Wait, you guys. Okay.
John's got experience here.
This is my area, all right? The powder from China has been the powder from China for at least the last 25 years.
Right.
Anybody who's making juice from bear and squib and whoever else down to the guy in his bathtub, they're all using the powder from China. It doesn't come from anywhere else.
That's interesting, yeah.
Oh. That's what they're getting. So everybody says the powders are shit. You're talking out of your fucking ass.
People are just using they're using the cheap stuff. They're using the test propionate powder instead of using boldenone or instead of using if you want to make incorrect shit, unscrupulously, yes. But you buy a kilo of testosterone cypionate. It's testosterone cypionate. It's the same testosterone cypionate that every drug maker on the planet is using because that's where it comes from. Really? Okay,
but
so the powders being bullshit. That's bullshit.
Can you drink it, John? Can you put Can you put it in?
No.
So hold on. Are you saying that the parabolin, trembolone acetate, or right?
It was trembolone.
Did we have a trembolone cough? Did we ever have a cough?
No parabolin, because back then
only the acetate gives you the cough, Jimmy.
What Jimmy's trying to say is back in the 90s, we got stuff from Europe. You got parabolin from France. I used to sell the shit. You know what I'm saying? We got Steris fucking testosterone. It wasn't made in some guy's bathtub that we don't know the exact ingredient or the exact amount. I got Steris, we had the Russian sustenance, you got fucking, metanobols from fucking Poland. Today, all this shit is, Joe Mataraz's fucking testosterone. You don't know what the fuck you're buying. I think that's what Jimmy's trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. Like and could that be the issue? Maybe a percentage of why people are dying. Guys are dying.
No. I'm going to say no, because the actual cooking process is like making instant coffee almost. It's the simplest fucking thing in the world.
Are you telling me there's no bacteria? Are you telling me that these guys are
what I'm saying is you got to work really hard to get bacteria in the bottle. If you follow the most simple process of doing it, no one's getting any infections. And you're talking about there's a long stretch between getting a boil in your shoulder and getting a heart attack. Okay, there's completely unrelated process.
You'd have to get a systemic infection to get that, probably.
If you're going to get staph, but I mean, but the amount of alcohol they put in there with the sterilization, the filtering, if you filter it right and put alcohol in it, nobody's having a problem. And proof of that is that there's tons of this shit being manufactured all the time, and we do not have a rash of complaints of infections and abscesses. Yeah, there's some here and there, but to the degree that everybody promotes the fact that it's all bullshit made in a bathtub, we should be losing appendages like...
John, the biggest atrocity is that people are not selling what they say they're selling. If they're selling Anavar, it's really Dianabol. If they're selling Primobolan, it's actually test propionate. That's what the problem is.
Correct. Because a kilo of Primobolan powder costs $13,000, and a kilo of testosterone powder costs $700.
Oh, dude, the same with Anavar.
In the oil and put it in the bottle, it looks exactly the same.
John, there's four girls that I know, right? They're thinking they're getting Anavar, and it's very expensive, hard to get, right? They get in Winstrol, and they're losing all their.
No, they're getting Dianabol.
They're getting Dianabol.
It's Dianabol because I know because these people buy the Roy test kits I sell at DavePalumbo.com, and I'm telling you, I get people sending me the results, and I'm like horrified. The Anavar is all D-ball, a lot of it. test propionate is usually what people fake everything with right now. Primobolan is never real. Once in a blue moon, I see a real Primobolan.
That's my point. What I'm trying to say is I'm not saying the test and antate, the powder is not the same. It's all the same. The thing is, what are these guys buying today? They think they're buying something, and you know what?
Well, look at George. When George Peterson died, okay, and they did the autopsy, he was on. They listed all the drugs he thought he was on. He was actually, I think there was only 2 things in his body. It was like testosterone and growth hormone or something
Right,
like that.
But Jordan was a whole different.
George Peterson, I'm talking. No, he dropped dead of a heart attack in his hotel room before the show.
Listen, when they load him on potassium and potatoes, and he's taking diuretics, there's an issue there.
Supposedly there wasn't even any diuretic usage at that point.
But you gotta, Jimmy, you gotta look at the timeline. Okay, what's different today that wasn't different in 2020? Because
we can get into that.
It's only been the last 2 years. The death, people started the incidence of death started increasing about the last half of 2020, and we spiked. We lost 33 people in 2021, and we're already on track to do that now. So
I'm not debating what you're saying. Where you're going, I'm not debating it. I'm just stating the fact that the stuff back in the 90s. The stuff today is not the same stuff back in the 90s.
Right. You would get Parabone, Primabone, and it was real.
Right.
Greg, I think, Greg, you made on one of the last shows, you made the best statement. I think Greg hit it on the nail. The steroids are the same, okay? John proved that, okay? The steroids are the same, okay? The training is the same. The food intake and the supplements is the same. The difference is guys are bigger today. And the size and that stress that it puts onto the cardiovascular system, in addition to the steroids, in addition to all the food they're eating. Okay, that's what's causing the problems, I think.
But Dave, how can that cause a problem? Back then, we couldn't even go to a doctor and say, hey, man, I'm on a cycle. I like a blood work. We didn't have any of that stuff.
I say that's why I'm always saying to people, you got to get diagnostic tests done. There's so many of them today you can do.
Jimmy, back then nobody weighed 300 pounds.
But nobody took the dosages. You guys know nobody took the dosages that they're taking now. Listen, the local fucking gym, a kid's taking a gram of test a week, 19, 20 years old.
Yeah, but he's actually only taking 500 grams of because they're not even dosed.
But you guys didn't take that shit back then.
No, but wait, listen.
I believe what Greg said. It's the
Dave,
size.
Remember what I said about the sport evolving, right? Let me tell you something. Back in the 80s and shit, if you could hit 100 mile an you couldn't hit 100 mile an hour fastball. Guys couldn't throw 100 mile an hour. If you could throw 90 miles an hour, you can make the major leagues. Today, everybody hits 100 mile an hour fastball, and every pitcher it can throw 100 miles an hour. Now, what I'm trying to say, to equate with bodybuilding, you cannot today. They're having trouble with the 212 class. Because everybody's at the top. You got little guys that are, they're shorter than me. I'm 5'6". You got guys 5'3", 5. They're having trouble making that class because they're taking their body weights are so big. They're taking so much shit, and I think that's what's causing the strain on the heart. You can't. Everybody's 300 pounds in the off season. Dave, you were an oddity back then.
Yeah.
Nobody was fucking 300. No. I remember when you were that fucking big. Nobody was that big.
Right.
Today. Everybody's that big.
And Greg, I was only that big, until I was 33. Actually, not even until 30. And then I never went over 285. But so the point is that it's the length of time you're doing. The guys are competing into their 40s, almost to 50 years old today. That that also, it's the time that you're at that size.
But Dave, Marcus Rule, Nasser, Dillette, Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman. The list is, all of those guys were over 300.
But not at 45 years old, John.
But no, not at 40. Absolutely not at 45. But my point is, none of them died of a heart attack.
The jab.
Zero.
It's the jab.
Okay. Yeah. So what's different today, specifically, and concentrated from the last half of 2020, 2021,
virus,
and now,
of course. And the vaccine.
That's the only thing that's different.
But it's another, because it's adding another risk factor onto it.
But nobody wants to talk about it.
No, of course
nobody wants to.
Well, you can't talk about it. They'll shut your shit down.
You can now that Elon Musk bought Twitter.
We can all go on Twitter now and do it.
Yeah, on Twitter.
By the way,
George,
Mr. G is partners with Elon Musk in Twitter. He went in, right? You got a pretty big investment.
Yes.
Musk needed an extra $100. He couldn't find it anywhere. Mr. G said, "I'll give you the $100. I want in." By the way, Mr. G, this cookie I'm eating, I just bit into a piece of pepper. It burned my mouth. Do you have pepper in these cookies?
No.
I think he's got.
No, you're eating it next to it.
Oh, it came off the bagel, the bread. There's no pepper in. Oh, there is pepper.
Yeah.
In there. Okay, all right.
No, that's everything.
I got worried. I thought he's putting pepper in the cookies.
No, that's everything seasoning. You're eating.
I
made Italian bagel.
He's mixing too many things together. He made Italian bread, John.
Wait, yeah, I got to tell Georgia this. I was on a trip this weekend, and there was, you know what Kilwins is? You ever hear Kilwins? Dave, you know what Kilwins is, right? I go in Kilwins there, I'll get an ice cream and this and that. I don't really want anything. I got no craving for anything. And I look in the case, and there's this thick white chocolate peanut butter cup. And immediately I think of Georgie. I think I got to have this because he ain't sending me any.
He sent Big Rob cookies. He didn't send you any?
$7.99.
What?
$7.99 for a fucking peanut butter.
Wow,
cup.
George, you're underpriced. I can't believe it.
We use high end chocolate. I use Merck. You know, you heard of Merck.
The quality was definitely there. I mean, the good natural peanut butter inside, high end white chocolate, not confection.
So maybe we shouldn't be yelling at him not to make the cookies. I mean, the candies.
No, we're gonna be making them once I get the lease in the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be pumping it out.
$7.99, Georgie.
Wow.
Hey, John, let me show you something real quick.
Dave, Mr. G sent me something.
John,
I gave him a good idea.
See that?
He made it and sent it to me, but we're not going to tell you. Oh, you have it with you, Mr. G, or no?
This is the Italian bagel bread I made. Everything's
Oh, okay.
You know, I was thinking, Johnny Bravo, maybe you should move down to Florida and go into business with Mr. G because your parents, right? They did the delis, didn't they do the?
Oh yeah.
You probably know the business. Maybe you can.
100%.
Help him 100%. Open up a food.
He actually, listen, I gave Mr. G an idea, something that no one's done before, right? The fucking guy, the next day, he's sending me pictures in his kitchen. He's like, "Look, John, look what I'm fucking making," and he shipped it to me. Right? I didn't get it yet. I'm gonna let you guys know how it is. But Mr. G, how's that idea on that? You think it's gonna be good too, right?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I can make anything. I mean, I'm like.
Why don't you open up a food place with Johnny Bravo together?
I'm opening a place.
We should have.
I know you are, but I think you need someone who knows the business. His family. That's all they did.
Dave, we should get Mr. G with a kiosk at Jimmy's Brothers Greek restaurant.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, there you go. The pastry's right at the restaurant there.
Your neighbors.
He's got a restaurant, his brother. Greek restaurant.
Listen, it's an amazing Greek restaurant.
Bring me all your samples. Bring me all the food. My brother's an executive chef. We have food trucks.
Oh, you got food trucks too? Wow. I didn't even know.
Point of purchase, Georgie.
George, you just hit the payroll with Jimmy Mentis here. You might even get to use some of his equipment if you.
Yeah, we want to make all the comfort food. When we open up, we want to deliver. We want to deliver food from 10 o'clock at night to 8 in the morning because I recognize.
Just put all your food on his truck. You don't have to do anything. Let them deliver it.
You know what you should do?
Fucking cookie.
Wait, Mr. G. You need to set up a food truck. Park it outside the fucking gyms and sell your cookies and everything right outside the fucking gym. Why don't you do that?
Crunch Fitness right there. You're right.
That makes too much sense.
When you come back to Fort Lauderdale, just give me a call.
Stop by. Yeah.
All right.
I'll give you Jimmy's number.
Yeah, give me a call.
Jimmy's a good business guy.
So let's stir the pot a little more here.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I want to hear Dave's response on Nick Trigilli. He didn't even say anything.
You know, I don't even like responding to him because he's just doing videos to sensationalize anything because he doesn't care. He just wants people to watch his channel. He knows what he's saying is bullshit. Anyone who, you know what people like to do? They like to cherry pick one statement I make out of a whole video. And then they try to blow it up and make it look like I'm some kind of nutcase or something like that. But
you don't make mistakes. Don't say that.
No, they try to make it seem like I don't know what I'm talking about. That's a way of getting people to watch their channel and get hits. And I understand what they're doing. It's marketing. That's why I don't even address it. It's not me. They don't really believe that.
I don't think the statement you made was wrong. There's nothing wrong with what you said.
Nothing is ever one variable. It's right. You got to look at the whole picture 100%. Because if you don't look at the whole picture, you're an imbecile. I mean, that's stupid to say that steroids kill you, okay? I liked the video that Feroci did because it woke people up. It's the shock value of the video that did what it was supposed to. It wasn't technically correct, but what he was saying is that, dummies, you're going to die from this stuff if you don't watch your health. If you're 300 pounds and you're taking massive amounts of gear, train like an animal, overeating food, for 20 years, you're probably not going to live a long life. That was his message. It wasn't that the steroids themselves are going to do that. It's the whole combination of the lifestyle and everything else that goes along with it.
Bodybuilding.
Right.
Yeah, the mentality.
Right.
That mentality is going to kill them.
So what you have to do is you have to understand, okay, I'm going to go hard, I'm going to achieve something, and then I have to somehow figure out an escape plan of how I can still be involved in the industry, make money if that's what I like to do, yet not be 300 pounds and not have to, in my head, be who I am, my identity, because you have to change your identity. Because in other words, I told this to Boston Lloyd, may he rest in peace. I said, Boston, you've done what you needed to do. People respect you. They like to hear what you have to say because you're so brutally honest. You don't have to weigh 250 pounds anymore. You have kidney issues. Downsize, focus on your health, but continue to put out information, and people will pay you for it because they like you. You've already done whatever you had to do. You achieved fame in your own little niche that you created for yourself, and now just capitalize on it, cash in on it. You don't have to put your health in jeopardy anymore. But for him, that was his whole identity. And he couldn't distance himself from that identity, and that's what ultimately killed him.
They liked him as a person.
What's his name's in the hospital right now.
They liked him as a person, whether he was a bodybuilder
Big
or not.
Lenny is the same problem.
It wouldn't have mattered.
Big
they like
Lenny
him.
That's why he's in the hospital.
Big Lenny thinks if he's not Big Lenny, that people won't like him.
They'll actually like him more if he would have started surfing with me. I wanted to take him surfing. I wanted to take him in yoga classes. I was going to do all
George gets him in shape, takes him surfing, gets eaten by a great white shark, and then Lenny's dead.
I'll punch the shark out of here.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah.
You know what I think? You know what? I just did a video last night with Tony Hughes, right? Yeah. And one of the things that I always say is the difference also between the older bodybuilders, old school like us. Is I'm 70s, 80s, 90s, because I'm in my 60s. Is that today they take a drug for every process of the body. They take a drug to eat more food. Right. They take a drug now just to eat, shooting melanotan to get more tan. They take a drug for every, let's take Cytodrin, stop our cortisone. Let's take, for every process of the body. So therefore, you're taking, 20 different drugs, not even steroids, but different chemicals. Right. A chemical to go to sleep, a chemical to wake up, a chemical to fucking, go to the gym and
to have sex. They take a chemical, right?
But everything, yeah. But it's the truth. And what I'm saying is, eventually, you're this stew of fucking all these different chemicals, and it's got to take its toll.
Polypharmacy, Greg. That's what happens.
I agree with you 100%, Greg.
Your blood pressure goes up, Johnny. Your blood pressure goes up. Once the blood pressure goes up, there go the kidneys. I'm telling you right now. Dave, you know that.
Yeah.
Blood pressure goes up.
That's the kidney killers. Yeah.
And once that happens, the heart starts getting fucking weak.
Yeah.
The blood pressure, heart, kidneys. That's it. And you start taking a fucking drug for every process of the body. And another thing. Some of these guys, there were I remember, like you see Big Ramy, right? I remember when he first came into the on the scene. You saw pictures of him 5 years before that. He was just like hey, what's up? I'm and then 5 years later, he's like fucking King Kong. And
Walker in like a year.
That's what I'm saying.
I've seen some shit like that in my life.
What did he look like 5 years ago?
Have you seen Nick Walker in person?
No.
Okay. Well, I've seen some pretty big bodybuilders in my life, and I've talked to them. I've been friends with and all that. But I have to tell you, the Olympia in Orlando, the last Olympia in Orlando, I was sitting second row, and Nick walked by me with a short sleeve cut off, his bag and a meal, obviously, because I heard he hasn't missed a meal since 2018.
That's why he's so good.
He's like you.
That's why he's so good. And I have to tell you, I was in awe of the muscle this fucker was carrying. I just thought it was fake.
Right.
Dude, he posted pictures on Instagram this week. I couldn't believe what I was looking at.
I got to tell you, those are pictures. We're used to pictures. We can't comprehend how big like, because we've seen, but let me tell you, I think when you see Nick in person, those pictures are probably 40 pounds less.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
And to realize he's done it in such a short period of time, too.
That's it, Johnny. Johnny, that's it right there.
Yeah, and for the record, you remember when Dave said
look at the one on the right, Tyler. The third one on the right. That one. Look at that.
That one.
Freaky.
Yeah. He looks, I gotta tell you, in this picture.
And Jimmy, white guys look smaller in pictures, right?
Absolutely. But here's the thing, in this picture, to me, he looks like a normal guy that we would see pose, right? If you went to Ben's place right now to see him, you'd be like, when was this picture taken? 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Like this kid is massive. When I say massive,
he's impressive.
Massive.
He's very
but
impressive.
it's worrisome too, though, because he changed so fast. You know what I mean?
But then again, it's a dry sponge, right? Look at Ronnie when he came last or ninth, and then the next year he came, because Chad got behind him and he basically filled up the sponge.
You got to remember, he's very young, so he's just hitting his peak years, believe it or not. Even though he's huge, he's still hitting his peak years right now.
Right. And for the record, remember, Dave, you said that you were walking around with 315?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
For the record, the first time I saw Dave at 315, he was riding the recumbent bike at Gold's Venice in the back room next to the aerobic room. And I went and I sat next to him to do cardio. And I was about 250, 260, feeling good. And Dave's freaking hamstring was hanging like a sack of potatoes. And I said, that's it. It was Dave that ruined me.
I saved your life, Jimmy.
He had big legs as a kid. His dad told me when he was born, his dad said to the doctor, "Where's his schmeckle?" I swear to God, your dad said, and he goes, well, the doctor goes, "These are the biggest legs I've ever seen on a kid."
Yeah, I mean, you guys know, Greg. You've seen him at his prime.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. I mean,
I wish I had more pictures from back then. Believe me.
Wait, so let me ask you. Wait, let me ask you guys a question. If somebody told you, okay, you could live 70 years, take whatever you want, be as big as you want, right? Live 70 good years, happy, or live 85 and look like shit. Which one would you take?
85.
Which one would you take?
I would probably.
If I was 69, I would say I'll take the older.
Who gives a shit after you're 70 years old what you look like anyway?
Wait, when do you start looking like shit?
John's pretty close to 70. So is Greg. I don't know if they want to make that deal right now.
Well, when do you start looking like shit? I mean, is it right away, or do you start looking like shit at 70?
Yeah, but don't forget, at that point when you're training and you're on and you're Superman. You're Superman. You sneeze and you get a pump.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a fucking truth. But you know what, though? As we get older, our mindset starts to switch. Being huge is only trouble for us. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm going to be 62 years old. So the thing is, now you want to start living. Like I want to live. I don't want to be like fucking the biggest guy in the.
We lost our egos. No more ego. No more.
Right.
No more ego. It's like. We wanted to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then finally realized it doesn't matter how big we are. It's more about us.
Dave and I would just talk. I just talked to Dave on the phone, and he was with his kids and stuff, and he was yelling at his son for a second, and I was saying, but Dave, that's greater than winning the Sandow, right? And he said yes, because you know what? Now Dave could go back if Dave wanted to. Dave could go back to weighing 315, but he might not be. He might not be around for his kids too much longer. Am I right or wrong?
You know what, Greg? When I look in the mirror, I get out of the shower, and everyone as bios, you always got to hit a pose, right? When you get out of the shower, and I'm like, I'm pretty good. I got some muscle on me, and I'm ripped. I have glutes, and my legs up. Even though I have half a quad, I'm shredded. And I'm like, this is a good look for me. You know what I mean? Right. I'm happy with the way I look. Can I get bigger? Someone even suggested to me, some doctor, believe me. He's like, why don't you do like a 3-month cycle and just, see what you can put on muscle-wise? I'm like, because I won't stop. I won't be able to stop myself. So I said, I'm not doing it.
Imagine the views you'd get, though, if you did it.
Of course, but I don't need money anymore. I got enough money. I'm making money. I'd rather not lose a couple of years of my life, just because I want to,
Dave, you're the one who actually taught me a lesson. Because I remember you saying how you as bodybuilders, we do everything in excess. Even me, I was 278 pounds. I'm 5'6".
Right.
So I remember you saying you went to the doctor because you were riding bikes and shit like that, and you said you were like fucking riding like 10, 15 miles a day, and your doctor said to you, Are you gonna go for like a bike marathon or not? And you're like, no, I just figure out, I do everything intense. And the doctor said to you, why you don't need to do that. Slow it down because as you're getting older, you're only gonna stress your heart and everything.
Right.
Do you remember that? Or
yes, no, of course. It was enlightening to me because I never thought about it. Why do I have to go to the gym just because I can do 400-pound squats? Why do I have to do? I'm not competing. Why would I even put my body at risk of injuring myself at that point?
I always say there are no 300-pound 80-year-olds.
Thank you, John.
There's no 300-pound 60-year-olds.
Thank you, John.
But I have to tell you, when I go into the pit and I train, and you get that pump, and then you put another 45, and you get pulled back into it.
Right.
And then the next day you got the muscle spasms and everything.
You got Jimmy, one heart attack and you'll stop thinking like that.
No, but you have to say to yourself, what am I doing this for now? I'm doing it so I can look good. I don't want to be 300 pounds, so why am I going to lift weights like I want to be 300 pounds? It doesn't serve any purpose. Just like it doesn't serve, I'm going to go for my bike and go for a bike ride. Why do I have to keep up with the guys that are competing in the Tour de France? Just because I can? No, but there's no reason. It's not good for your body necessarily to compete or to push it at that elite level.
It's not sustainable.
We think it's putting us in good shape, John, but it's not. It's actually
you taught me that lesson, Dave.
Yeah.
I never forget that bike thing. Yeah. That bike thing was actually the perfect analogy when your doctor said to you, well, why do you bother? If you're not going to go for a marathon, what the hell are you doing riding a bike like that for? And he's right.
It was true. It was ridiculous when I thought about it.
And you know what I want to say? I know Jimmy makes fun of me because I'm only 200 pounds, right? But for me, that's great, right?
You'll live to 100 with the way you
No, but that's always what I want to be, right? But I never wanted to get bigger because I knew that what was be required for me, because I'm 170 pounds naturally, right? That what would be required for me to maintain that for the rest of my life, I knew I couldn't do it, wasn't willing to do it health-wise. So that's why I never did that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
so going into now, let's just say, like, all right, we've all competed, we've all done our shit, whatever we've done, right? Some people are asking to test or regulate or some kind of control the shows now. The bodybuilding shows.
They tried that once, though.
But yeah, that's back then. It didn't work. But then again, it was a drug testing thing. I think it was more of a look for the Olympics because Ben back then wanted to get the bodybuilding in the Olympics. Yeah, I remember all that stuff. But what I'm saying is now, right? So why would the NPC, the IFBB Pro League, IFBB Elite, and all that? Why would they get involved into what the athlete is doing? Why would they get themselves involved and create a liability? All they're doing is promoting shows and saying, hey, we got a stage for you.
Right.
We have lighting. We have makeup. We have music.
Right.
If you want to showcase what you've done on your own, we're here. Am I not seeing this right?
No, you're right. I think that they should start scoring guys that are ridiculous a little bit.
Well, but doesn't the NFL do the same thing, Jimmy?
But
hold on. That's a union,
the NFL says we're going to give you guys an organization.
There's no union in bodybuilding, and nobody gives a shit.
But
nobody gives a shit.
No, hold on. You got a players' union. You got everything involved. They got help. They got.
Well, that's our own. That's our own fault for not having that, right?
But you can't, because I have to tell you, we're all supporting and been part of an illegal sport, if you want to call it.
Of course. We're all drug addicts.
Right?
But isn't it the onus of the organization? And I don't want to see them drug test because I think it'll ruin bodybuilding.
Right.
Isn't it the onus of the organization to implement drug testing if they want to keep their organization safe?
That's what it says in the IFBB rule book.
But here's my question. Why would the IFBB or any federation that is the bodybuilding, IFBB, NPC, IFBB Pro League, Elite, whatever, why would they create this liability? Because the
liability's already there, though.
What?
The liability's already there.
There's no liability.
It's like saying auto racing creates a liability. You can't. I mean, there's an element. No matter what you do, there's an element.
But hold on a second. Hold on. Do you know that NASCAR has WADA drug testing?
Yeah, they do.
They do that because they don't want to get sued, Jimmy.
That's exactly. Right. It's all ass covering, but MotoGP doesn't. I mean, there's
no. But
why
Jimmy,
does the hold on? Why does the
right.
WWE drug test? They don't. It's not even a sport.
Jimmy's right. Jimmy's right. Basically, there's bodybuilding, and then there's the organization that's running the shows, the IFBB and
Showcase.
No. That's not right, Greg. There's the federation is the organizing body.
Right.
The person or people liable at that level are the promoters. It's the promoter's responsibility to do all of that shit.
Why is
federation? All the federation does is sells you a sanction fee to use their name.
Right. That's why the Olympia was drug tested, or the Arnold Classic was drug tested. Yeah.
Right. The onus is on the promoter, not the federation, to do drug testing, safety measures, all of that shit. So as long as the promoters are promoting a bodybuilding contest, as long as promoters are promoting motorcycle racing, car racing, pole vaulting, whatever, all of these sports have an element of danger to them, and by participating in them, you by default accept those dangers. If you fuck up and die, that's not on the federation, it's not on the promoter, that's on you.
No, but that's what we're saying. Jimmy's saying basically they're giving a platform. It's almost like if some fat bastard comes and eats at
hold on, wait a second. What if the government steps in like they did with the WWE and they say, look, we want you guys to start implementing drug testing? I mean, it's possible.
What happened? WWE had no choice. They had to.
Yeah. Right. What happens? What would happen then?
Then you get good.
Then you got to have drug testing done, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, I think again, I love bodybuilding.
I don't think that's going to save bodybuilding at all. I mean,
like if bodybuilding gets bigger,
I'm not saying anything.
These guys will do more dangerous
I'm just saying
stuff.
The facts, right? After all of these years, you look back in. Bodybuilding is like an MLM company, right? Everybody knows what's going on. The products suck. It's just exchange of money, right? So the promoters know what's going on. They've created a platform to showcase whatever the fuck you did and the way the fuck you look on stage. It's simple.
Right.
So why is everybody calling to regulate an extreme sport? There is no regulation. They don't want to be involved in the liability, because as soon as they start drug testing, then there's a liability. They're attached to the athlete. At this point, there's no attachment. I pay my entry fee.
Well, they've drug tested in the past, so there is a precedent there, Jimmy.
Who drug tested?
The IFBB drug tested.
Listen, Arnold Classic.
1 year.
Hold on. Arnold Classic. It was a diuretic test. I got busted.
Well, no, in 1990, Sean Ray failed the drug test, lost the Arnold Classic.
It was the IRONMAG. It was the Arnold, then Mike Ashley won.
Yeah.
But they did it again. They did it at the Olympia at the McCormick Center in Chicago.
Yep.
But they did that because Ben wanted to go into the Olympics.
Right. Window dressing.
Right. So
they don't give a shit about the athlete. I don't think if they did, I think the only way, drug testing.
I think they care, but I think there's nothing that they know the sport doesn't exist otherwise, you know?
Yeah, I think they do care. They just don't want to, it's none of their business. I think they
put
care
the
about
genie
the
back in the bottle, and that goes for anytime you have these discussions. You've got to take bodybuilding out of the box and put it in among all other sports. And in all other sports, drugs and performance-enhancing drugs and techniques are in use. Whether they're banned, illegal, tested for, doesn't matter. They're all doing it. Yeah. So that's just the way it is. You're not going to ever change that. The genie's out of the bottle. We know what this shit does. People are not going to pay for less performance than they saw last year. So everybody gets it. Everybody.
I agree with you. That's my point. It's like, why is everybody calling to regulate, to do this, to do that? The promoters are this. Man, you should be doing this. You know, like, there's nothing.
Because you know what it is? It's this outrage. As soon as somebody dies in our sport, first of all, you know, it's really weird to me that once you become a bodybuilder, you are expected then to live forever. Nothing, you're never supposed to die. And if you do die, and it's anything before your 200th birthday, it's the drugs did it. It's all drugs, okay? So right off the bat, people got to like accept the fact that people die, including bodybuilders. Yeah. Now, are there more bodybuilders dying all of a sudden in the last couple of years? Yes. Is that something that needs to be addressed? I don't know.
There's more athletes all throughout the world that are dying, not just bodybuilders.
All over the world, in all other sports. It's not bodybuilding's fault. So these people get incensed over the fact, another bodybuilder. When are these people going to wake up and realize, here's the bodies, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they're so incensed over it because bodybuilding is supposed to be this, health and fitness and, the pinnacle of extreme physicality. And you got guys dropping dead of heart attacks. So it insults them, it offends them so they got to speak out and lash out that bodybuilding should be different from all other sports and all other pursuits, and we got to regulate this shit, and we have to do something about it, and it's Mannion's fault, but it's all a bunch of bullshit.
I agree.
It is what it is.
Everybody knows going into competitive bodybuilding. Hold on, a couple of weeks ago, I was at a show, and I had some people come up to me, take a picture, whatever. There were 45, 50, 60-year-olds that knew of me. And there's another kid down at another booth that never competed with a freaking line with taking pictures, okay? Never competed, but he was on. And you could tell he was on, and he's pretty famous. And now you see these guys getting on a cycle, right? Getting that itch. And if their trainer, tells them to say, hey, take 200, they're taking 600. Okay? You take 600, they're taking 1200. Hey, come off. And they're still on. So everybody knows, my point is everybody knows with that first shot or pill, you're getting into that red zone. That's it. And I do believe everybody who does that knows that they're playing Russian roulette from day one.
100%.
That's it.
Yep.
100%.
Okay. God forbid, I don't want to say it, but if I died tomorrow, I have no regrets. I knew what I was getting into.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. Yeah.
And Jimmy, I agree with you. And I think anybody who's practicing this stuff accepts that. When I'm putting my helmet on as I'm getting on my motorcycle, I'm accepting the fact that something could happen. Yep. The guy getting ready to go down the Black Diamond run at the ski slope is same thing. The guy jumping out of the airplane with a parachute, same thing. It's just the name of the game. If you accept and decide to get involved with this, you are accepting the inherent risks and the dangers.
So there's no outside factors telling someone to do something.
Exactly.
Right? Everybody makes that decision.
Right.
Look, I don't think some people smoke cigarettes, they live to 100. Some of them die at 50 of a heart attack.
That's what's so wonderful about this world. We all can make our own decisions based on whatever we believe that we want to do. And there's no one else is going to tell us what we can and can't do. And that's why, I always said, to Boston, Boston, I can give you all the advice in the world. I know you're not going to listen to me. Maybe you will on a little bit, maybe you won't. You're your own person. You got to make your own decisions and live with the consequences. And so that's the bottom line. But to say that, one aspect of what we do is causing this problem is stupid. And like John said, look at the rash of deaths we've had over the last 2 years, ever since, COVID kind of came around. And so it added, what it did was, John, it added another risk factor. And a dangerous risk factor to someone who's 280, 300 pounds, who takes steroids, who has high blood pressure, who, all these little other things, who lifts, 600 pounds in the gym. Don't think that that's not a strain on the body. That doesn't raise your blood pressure through the roof. It's just another risk factor that we didn't need. And unfortunately, it's resulting in more deaths, not just in bodybuilding, but in the elite sports world where people push their bodies to the limit.
But Dave, what's outraging people is now this isn't just bodybuilders dying. Mr. Olympia's dying. The guys in the Olympia lineup.
It's people who push their body to the extreme. They can't handle it, the bodies. The heart
I don't
can't
see the
handle
top
it
home run
anymore.
hitters in Major League Baseball dying, or the top pro football players
Because,
dying.
Greg,
or,
if you have chronic inflammation of your heart being caused by this virus
I
or
agree.
viral particles, okay, that's not a good thing when you're trying to push your heart to pump out maximum
agree.
blood in 10 seconds, okay? And what happens is arrhythmias happen, fluid around the heart happens, and the
Dave,
heart
I
fails.
agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing that, but
Yeah.
I'm just simply stating I think that what's making people freak out is that Mr. Olympia died, and then
Right.
so did the top Olympia competitors.
Of
that
course,
dropped.
it scares the crap out of everyone, Greg. Of
and
course
as
it
much
does.
As much as every time we do, just getting in your car, driving to the store, you take a risk.
Greg, I just
But what
talked
I'm
about
saying
this on
is-
Iron Therapy when the next show that's going to go up with Leslie, and people are afraid now to admit that they're bodybuilders. They have to make up these like, I'm going to retire in 3 years. I got to watch my health. They don't really want to retire in 3 years, and they're not going to retire in 3 years. They're saying it because they feel guilty being bodybuilders with everyone going out there and saying, these guys are killing themselves, you know?
Right.
It's a
Yeah,
shame.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You know what's worse is the fucking social media, and you got these guys that are
That's where it's
taking
happening.
steroids and saying that they're natural and shit like that, and then they're fucking making all
Because
these
they're
videos.
embarrassed now to admit they use steroids because they got guys saying it's going to kill you. So how am I going to be, as a top athlete, admit that I'm using steroids? And I got to say I'm retiring in 2 years. I'm only doing this for a few. No, because I feel guilty. You shouldn't feel guilty for what you love to do. Do it, but do it responsibly. That's
But
the answer.
It's a lie, though. But like, look what Jimmy was saying. How the couple guys that people come and take pictures with him. They're older, or whatever. And this other guy has a line down the road, and he's never even fucking competed. It's because social media. These guys have created.
That's
this,
fine, though. You shouldn't have to feel guilty for being a
but they're
fucking
lying.
bodybuilder or being, a social media
can't
icon
lie,
or whatever,
though. You can't lie. You're on steroids. You say I'm on steroids. I fucking, I tell
Or don't say anything, Greg. Don't say anything. If your mom said to you, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything.
Don't say any. Right.
That's
I agree.
the take-home
I agree
message
with
today. Jimmy Mentis, thank you for joining us as our special guest today, and we'll give Mr.
Jimmy.
G your number.
Good
He'll
seeing
stop
you
by and
guys.
bring you some cookies.
Jimmy was awesome.
Yeah, good seeing you.
My
Jimbo.
pleasure. Good seeing you guys.
All right, we're gonna wrap this
Tanya
up.
brought me on your show.
Awesome. It was awesome, bro.
I'm Dave Palumbo here with another edition of After Hours. We'll see you next week.
Remember, never give up because God loves you, baby.
Bye, guys.
All right, thanks.
All right.